We are using the book by Geeta Ji, that's Yoga in Action, a preliminary course for beginners on the sequence of learning and practicing Iyengar Yoga. So today we are going to go to week 2, where we'll be revisiting a lot of the postures we did last week and also adding a few more. And it's only through the practice that we understand more than just simple words. So let us begin our practice. Take a comfortable seat. Make sure you have enough height so that you can lift your lower back up. Please do take adequate height and see that your sacrum is not dropping. You should be able to lift and keep the frontal part of the abdomen soft. Now place the hands close to the sides of the body. Press your fingertips down. As you press your fingertips down, use the pressure of the hands to lift the waistline, lift the side chest, and roll the outer shoulders back. Keep the head looking forward, and then slowly bring the palms of the hand. Let it rest at the center of your chest. Let's close our eyes. As always, we begin with the invocation. So let's chant 3 Ohms. Take a deep inhale. Om. 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 Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaidakena yopa karotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranajaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram Shankhachakrasidharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Now slowly lower your head down. Release the hands, place them back on your legs. Softly begin to open your eyes and lift your head up. We are going to start with Samasthiti. So move any other prop away. And we are going to stand on the center of our mat, joining your big toes, evenly pressing the bottom of the feet down. Shift the weight of your body back so you're more on the heels. Straighten your knees, straighten your elbows, lift the waistline, lift the chest, take your outer shoulders back, lengthening the arms down towards the floor. Look straight ahead, pausing here for a few moments in Samasthiti. As you're in the pose, keep your weight on the heels. Keep your outer hips firm, drawing the legs closer towards each other. And stretch your shoulders down to the fingers. Smooth inhale and smooth exhale. Now from here, we will move to Urdhva Hastasana. So maintain the firmness of the legs, knees tight, knees straight. Stretch your arms straight in front of you. Keep your elbows extended, maintaining the firmness of the joints, the wrist. Stretch all the fingers, and with an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Use the arms to lift up, lengthen the waistline. Keep your weight on the heels. Look straight. If you can stretch your arms more, see that if you can take your upper arms behind your ears. Keep the front of the neck soft. Reach all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Now take your hands down. Baddhanguliyasana. Take your right thumb on top of the left. Interlace the hands. Have a good clasp. Turn the palms out. Keep the fingers within the clasp. And then extending through the elbows with an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Once more, use the arms to lift up, lengthening the whole spine up. You want to grow taller with the spine. At the same time, keep your weight heavy on the heels. Don't come forward with your upper body. Stay back. Stretch your upper arms long. Stretch your armpits long. Look straight. Now slowly release. Bring your hands down. Change the interlace. So left thumb goes on top now. Once more, nice tight clasp. Try to keep all your fingers within the clasp. And sometimes, yes, definitely the fingers tend to go out. Can you try to touch the thumbs at least? Spread the palm of your hand. Tighten your elbows. Knees straight. Weight on the heels. Inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Use the upper arms to lift and lengthen the sides of the body. Keep stretching up with your upper arms and take your upper arms behind your ears. At the same time, see that your head is not dropping down. Look straight. Lift the shoulders. Lift the arms. Lift the forearms. Now slowly release and bring your hands down. Take your hands alongside your body. Outer shoulders back. Weight back on the heels. Next, we go for Namaskarasana. So again, we did this last week. Bring the palms of the hand. At first, try to touch all the fingers. The middle section of your palm. The base of your palm. And instead of pushing too hard, try to really connect every part, the right, the left. Bring the thumbs resting at the center of your sternum. So more here. And again, we said our fingers go slightly forward, but lengthen the elbows down, look straight. As you're in the pose, the upper arms become longer. Thereby pulling your shoulders down, keep the hands at the center of the chest. Now keeping the upper arms long, see if you can slowly start to straighten your forearms, not letting them come too close to the hips, stretch them out, elbows straight. And this further helps you to draw the outer shoulders down. As you take the outer shoulders back, spread the chest, stretch the elbows, stretch the fingers. Coming back to Tarasana or Samasthiti. Now relax. Next we go for Namaskarasana in Urdhva Hastasana. So first we do Urdhva Hastasana. And again, as I mentioned, if you have any neck or any shoulder issue, or it causes you discomfort to bring your hands closer, your elbows are bending, it is totally okay to keep your fingers apart. So for this, I'll just move a little bit back so it's clearer in terms of your vision of the hands. Yes. So we stay. Once more, coming back into Tarasana, Samasthiti. Stretch your hands straight in front of you. Urdhva Hastasana. Lift and stretch your arms up. Once you've got the arms up, lift up, stretch up, and then bit by bit. First, you bring your outer upper arms closer. Keep your head looking straight. Then keeping the upper arms lifting the side chest, lift it up, take your arms behind your ears. Only if the arms have gone behind your ears, then you can attempt to cross, taking the arms back. Yeah, so if you are in this position, it's okay to keep your arms just extended. You want the arms to go back, your chest open, and then see if you can get the base of the palm, the middle of the palm, all the fingers touching, and use this pressure to lift your whole chest up. At the same time, keep your weight on the heels, knees tight, elbows straight. Now slowly release, separate your hands, and take your hands down. Relax. Now, last week we also learned the two foundations of each standing pose. That was Utthita Padasana, where we just spread our legs, and Pasva Padasana, where we turn and learn to rotate our leg. So if you see now, my thigh, my knee, and leg more or less when we are standing straight in one line. But when we turn our leg, maybe a portion of your foot turns, but your knee doesn't turn, your thigh doesn't turn. And it is teaching our body that, and it's a lot of opening of the hip that helps us to slowly open. So at first, that is something you have to really pay attention to when we do the leg. So let's do it a little bit fun, not so static. It's good to move around. So if you're okay to jump, remember you can jump, otherwise you can spread your feet. So bring your hands in the center of the chest, bend your knees, and jump and spread your legs out. Have a quick look to see that your toes are in line, you're stretching and expanding your arms to the side. So this is called Utthita Hasta Padasana. You're just upright, toes pointing straight, weight is on the heels, thighs back, chest expanded. Now, can we keep our whole upper body more or less the same and just do a little bit of play to see when we turn our whole right thigh, knee, foot, toes. Now you can see it's already changed in my body, right? I shifted because I turned my leg. But now I have to go back to the center, right? So let's see how much we can keep this part static, stretching your arms, and you turn your foot in, then turn your left knee, left thigh, left foot out. The whole thigh has to turn. And again, the hip shouldn't turn. The hip has to face forward. The chest has to face forward. Now let's see if we can relax the hands for a moment and just do that with the feet. Point your toes forward. Okay, you can keep up. So I place my hands, my hips, so I can control my hips. I turn my right knee, right thigh, right foot out. Turn your foot in. Turn your right thigh, your knee, your foot, your whole leg has turned. Again, turn the foot in. Right leg out to 90. Back in. Left leg out to 90. Turn your foot in. Try now to see if you don't have to bend your knee. Can you turn from the heel? That's right. And place the foot down. And lift and turn. Again, dig the heel, lift your toes, turn from the heel and place it down. See that your hips are level. And come back out and relax. Now you can jump your legs back before we go for Trikonasana. We learned Trikonasana as well. So we are revisiting the pose. We are going to do it twice. So shift your weight to the heels, and it's through the practice of the poses that we learn it. So shoulders back, bring your hands into the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Stretch your arms out from the center of the chest, head back. Now, as we did, this is called Utthita Hasta Padasana. Now we do Parshva Hasta Padasana. So that means you turn your whole right knee, thigh, foot out. Turn your left toes slightly for this so that we are more stable. Now keep the body weight on that left heel. Lengthen the right side of your chest. Go down with your hand. Go down as low as you can. At the same time, you have to see that your chest is not facing the floor. So if you need to adjust, you can. There should be space here. The hip has to turn. The chest has to turn as you stretch your arm. It's okay to go down if that is possible for you, but your legs have to be straight. However, if your hip is falling down, you do need to come up. It is better for your back and spine. Lift up with the top arm. Now inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Spread your arms. Chest open. Turn your left leg out to 90. Turn your right toes slightly in. Be heavy on the right heel. Move the right waistline back. Stretch your right arm long. Maintaining this, go down to your left side. Again, you're moving from the hip. You can go down to your level as long as the chest, this front part of the chest, is not facing down. If that's the case, you need to come up. So your chest is up and you're lifting your chest up with the help of the arms. Legs straight, knees straight, elbows straight. Inhale, use with the top arm. Come up, turn your toes in, jump, and come back into standing. We're going to repeat the pose again. Shoulders back, elbows straight, look straight. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump. Spread your chest. Keep the chest open. Turn your right leg out to 90. Turn your left toes slightly in. Chest facing forward, arms extending. Go from the hip. Inhale, take a deep inhale. Exhale, go down. Once you're down, again, lift the top chest. Keep the back leg firm and keep stretching through the arm. Turn your abdomen, turn your chest, and lift the top arm. Now keep the lift of the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Have a quick look to see your feet are in line. Remember, that's important. Chest open, upper arms tight, head back. Turn your left leg out to 90 completely. The whole leg has to turn. Then turn your right toes slightly in. Keep the weight back on the heel. Lift the side chest. Try to keep this lifting action of the sides of the body as you go down, especially the back leg. Don't lose that support. The spine feels lighter. Then you drop your hand again. Whatever part is dropping down, you have to turn from your left waistline up, the left chest up, and use the top right hand to stretch the chest open, head back, legs straight. See that your arms are in line. Now inhale and come up. Turn your toes in, jump, and come back into standing. Shift your weight to the heels, outer shoulders back, stretching down through the elbows. So this, till now, more or less, it is a repetition of the previous week. So we went through all the poses, kind of like a little refresher, and hopefully if you practice during the week, then maybe it was easier for you to understand. Now we introduce 2 new poses. First, we are going to, again, you can jump, so that's probably a better idea. So bring your hands in, jump and spread your legs. Now, because we want to learn the leg action, let's bring our hands on the waistline, close to the hips, and just be there. Have a quick look to see that your toes in line. Now we learn to bend our leg. So just like the previous pose, Trikonasana, the whole leg has to turn. So the thigh has to turn, the knee has to turn, and the foot has to turn. At the same time, your hip, chest, facing forward, head back. Like in Trikonasana, you keep your weight heavy. So let's do this together. Lift the side chest, shoulders back, and start to bend your leg. Now here it's very important to see, like in the previous pose, your hip is not dropping. We turned from the right waistline to the left. So the left leg is heavy. And then you go down. Yeah, so you go down. Another thing that you have to pay attention to is that your left leg is very straight and your knee does not go beyond. So you have to feel that the thigh stays in the hip. Now stay here. Keep the legs firm. Inhale and come up. Now turn your toes in. Once more, toes pointing straight, hands on the hip, chest up, shoulders back. Now turn your left leg completely out to 90. Turn your right toes slightly in. Again, hips level. The knee tends to turn. Remember to turn that knee, thigh, and you have to keep rotating that knee as you decide to bend your leg. If you press the heel, you're stronger in the pose, controlling it. Don't put a break in the knee so the knee doesn't just go down. And at the same time, your hip is facing forward, chest is facing forward. Now come up. And let's do that a little quickly. Yeah, so not without losing form. If you feel constricted in the sense your leg cannot bend, you can widen your distance a little bit more, like I did a little bit more. But at the same time, press your legs, thighs tight. Now turn your right knee, foot towards the side, go down, bend your leg. You want to descend the hip down. So you want to open up these areas, but at the same time, be strong. Again, come up, turn your toes in. Turn your left knee, left thigh, left foot out. Again, go down, lower it down. Make sure the knee doesn't go beyond. Lower your hips, but don't drop your hip. Lift it up, chest up, hands on the hips. You can press this down to lift your spine. Again, straighten. Turn your toes. One more time. Let's do it. Turn your whole leg out. Turn your foot in. Hip level. Bend your leg. Come up. Turn your foot in. Turn the left leg out. Again, hold the hips. Bend your leg. Watch your knee doesn't go beyond your ankle. Lower from the hip. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Now let's jump and walk the legs out. Now you more or less understand how to bend the lower leg. Now we're going to add the arms. It makes our arms strong, and the whole pose is with the arms stretched out. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump, and spread your legs out. Stretch your chest. So the chest opens. Take your upper arms back, head back, stamp the outer edges of the heels. Turn your entire right leg out to 90. Turn your left toe slightly in. Keep your chest facing forward, hip facing forward, and bend your front leg. Virabhadrasana II. Go down from the hip, but see that your waistline is not turning. Your abdomen faces forward, chest faces forward. Now stretch your arms to the right and left, and only turn your head to look towards your right fingertips. Keep pulling the right and the left arm away from each other. Go down if you can, but be conscious of your right knee. Don't take it too far forward. Press your left heel. Now slowly press into the right heel. Straighten your right leg. Turn your head to face forward. If you want a challenge, keep your arms up. I'm going to. If you're tired, you can always take your hands down and put your arms back in this position. Turn your toes in. Toes again. Checking to see the feet are in line. Spread your chest. Turn your whole leg out. Your left leg turns out. Turn your right toes in. Again, upper arms tight. Look straight. Go down from the hip. Go down from the hip. Again, keep the knee. Don't let it go forward. Straighten your right leg. Chest facing forward. Left hip up. Left waistline up. And now turn your head to look at your fingertips. When you're turning, you can go down, but press your heels and stretch and open the front of the chest. Now turn your head to look forward. Straighten out your front leg. Turn your toes in and jump and bring your hands back. Relax your arms. Take a couple of recovery breaths in Tarasana. Have a quick look. See that your toes are in line. Shoulders back, elbows straight. Smooth inhale and smooth exhale. Now the next pose is Utthita Parsvakonasana. So for that, we are also going to use 2 blocks just in case we need it, because that helps us to get a better lift. So I'm going to get 2 blocks and I'll place them behind me. Of course, if you don't have blocks at home, you can just do it without, and maybe I'll show you an option where you can place your hand on your thigh. So once more, I've positioned the blocks slightly behind so that when I jump, I don't knock them over. So bring your hands in the center again, bend your knees and jump and spread your legs out. Toes are pointing straight, arms are extended. Turn your right leg out completely to 90. Turn your left toe slightly in. Like in all the previous poses, stamp the outer edges of the heel. Take a deep inhale, lifting the side chest, bend your front leg. Now here, we are going to keep our left hand on the hip, but really lift that right waistline. Can you see that I'm making an effort to lift the right armpit and stretching it rather than letting my arm drop? I'm trying to lengthen the right side of my chest long, long, long until I feel I cannot anymore. And then I take it as close to my thigh as possible. And if your hand touches, that's fine. Otherwise, you can always place your hand on the block. Now, I have to see that my belly and my chest doesn't face forward because the pose is to open the hips. So turn your belly, turn your chest, turn your shoulders. At the same time, see that your left hip stays back as you go down from the hip. Here too, the knee has to stay just above the front of the ankle, not go beyond. Turning your chest, work on taking your left shoulder back, press your hand into the block, look straight. Straighten your leg. Now inhale and come up. Bring your hands on the hips. Turn your toes in. So the first one, we are just working on the chest opening. We are not taking our arms up. But spread your arms out to open the chest. Now turn your left leg out completely. Turn your right toes in. Keep your chest, hip facing forward. Take a deep inhale, exhale, go down. Now keep your right hand on the hip now, keeping the right hip back. Stretch the whole side. Lower your hips down, but watch your knee. And then place your hand on the block. If you don't have a block, the other option is place your forearm on the thigh. Once you've got the hand on the block, then you have to turn your abdomen, the chest, to face forward. You can lower your right hip down, but again, not let the knee go forward. Be straight on your leg, but turn your right shoulder back. Left chest comes up to the right. That means left to the right. Go down. Now press into the legs. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Jump and come back. Pause here for a few moments. Now finally, we are going to do the pose where the arm goes over and we just stretch it open and then over the head. So let's start. Bring your hands in the center. Bend your knees. Jump and spread your legs out. Expand from the center of the chest. Turn your right knee, right thigh, right foot out. Turn your left toes in. Keep your weight heavy on the heels. Take a deep inhale. Exhalation. Go down. Reach with the right side of your waistline. Take it as low as you can. Place your hand on the hip. And now this time, stretch your arm up like you're lifting your chest like you did in Trikonasana. Keep your legs straight. Now from here, start to rotate your upper arm. We did this in Urdhva Hastasana. And maintaining the rotation, take it over the head. You want to stretch your arm, but you want to keep the heel pressing down. Lower your hips, turn your abdomen, turn your chest, and stretch the arm. Go down from the hip. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Now to come up, lift with the arm and come up. Bring your hands down for a short rest. I hope you're still going strong. If you want to have a pause and take it at your own pace, you can always pause the video, take a breather, and then recontinue, yeah? So toes in line, back to the center. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Stamp the outer edges of the heels. Once more, expand the arms out from the center of the chest. Start to turn your entire left leg out to 90. Turn your right toes in. Keep your hips level. Take a deep inhale. Go ahead and bend your front leg. Now, lengthen the left side of your body. Try to go down, down, down as much as you can. Then same way, we place our hands on the block for support. Reach with your right arm. The right arm lifts the chest. The chest is facing forward. And as you go down, start to rotate your upper arm as you take it across. The arm stretches, so the sides of the body stretch. At the same time, watch your right leg is straight. You can lower your hips, but keep the knee in line. So I walk my right leg a little back so my knee doesn't go beyond. Turn your abdomen, turn your chest. Stretch the fingers. Press your right heel. Now use the top arm straight. Lift yourself up with the help of the arm. Turn your toes in. And then jump and come back. Once more. Pause. Shoulders back. Elbows tight. Settling your breath. Observing each inhale and each exhale. Now we will go revisit Pasvottanasana with the concave back with our hands on the hip. And then we will directly move on to taking our hands down, but still we keep the concavity of the back. So let's use the props. So the same two blocks you're going to keep to your right side. And you take a moment to stand with your feet together in Tadasana. Again, shift the weight to the heels. Look straight, shoulders back, elbows extending. Now, same way, we bring our hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Once you've got that, bring your hands on your waistline. Lift the sides of your chest, shoulders back. Now let's start turning to our right side. So first we need to turn our whole right leg out, just like we have been doing so far. But this time, your left toes, if you remember from the last week, has to turn more, 60 degrees at least. However, once you've turned, you have to keep your weight on the heel and then start turning from the back of your thigh. Don't let the leg bend. It's important that we are straight because then our spine gets lifted. Otherwise, we are kind of collapsing. Yeah? So it's important to keep your knees straight, legs straight, and now revolve your pelvis as much as possible. Remember to take your head back. The front of the body has to become longer. As you bring your elbows closer, so your shoulder blades move in, let your head be the last thing going down. You can go from the hip. You can keep turning your hips, moving the right hip back, left hip forward, making sure your left thigh is tight. As you go down, we pause here. Again, the chest forward. Now you can bring your hands, bring your blocks so they're directly underneath the shoulders. When you press your hands, you have to lift your chest. You move that right outer hip back and your left hip rolls forward, keeping both the legs very straight, but belly forward, chest forward. Again, dorsal spine in, legs firm, looking straight. Now you shift your weight to the legs, bring your hands on the hip, inhale and come up. Let's take our blocks to the left. So take your blocks to the left, but walk our legs in. So let's do it well, properly from the beginning. We positioned our blocks. We take our shoulders back, elbows straight, joining your big toes, shifting your weight to the heels, looking straight. Once more, bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Quick check to see your feet are in line. Hands come back on your hips. Lift the side chest, shoulders back, elbows closer. Head back. Now start to turn your whole left leg out to 90. Remember to turn the whole foot, knee, and your thigh. Turn your right toes more. So there's a kind of 60-degree angle turn. Then stabilizing your heel, only from the hip we start to turn. So you bring your right hip forward and you move your left thigh, which can go forward, back, so you can turn it. So it has to go back. Don't let it come forward. Now keep rotating. Again, before that, we need to lift. Remember the lifting of the chest, the lifting of the sternum. Take your head back, almost look up slightly. Now keeping the elbows closed, keeping the dorsal spine in, go forward. Your head is still forward. Your chest is leading. Now bring your hands down, bring them such a way, your blocks, so your hands are underneath your shoulders. Again, let's work on the legs. Straighten your right leg, straighten your left leg, move your right hip forward and your left hip back. Belly forward, chest forward, chin forward. Now stamping into the outer edge of your right heel. So it stabilizes you. Press into the legs. Inhale and come up. Great, well done. Now we move to, the last of the standing poses. So take a moment, and we did this last week as well. And as I said, if you do check, there is a set of videos which I've created. And if you look under standing poses, there is Prasarita Padottanasana, which we are doing now. And you will see the side view also shown in that video. But of course, we can practice here together. And if you're not sure, you can always refer to it. And that way you know exactly how the hip should be, how the chest should be. But for now, let us simply step our legs out in such a way that our legs have the same distance as we just had for all our previous standing poses. In this case, I'm using the back edge of the mat. Quite clever, right? Using that as a line. So when I press my heels there, I know, okay, my legs are in the same line. So that's a good little trick. So now your blocks are placed in front of you. You can see I've started on a higher height and we can always reduce them. But the first thing you have to do is keep your legs stable. So you move your inner legs out, but you hug in. Knees straight. Now without bending the legs, and we don't have to go very low. So don't force yourself to go down. Be straight with the legs. That's important. And it's from the hip. So this is the hip. You want to move from the hip, right? And chest up, chin up, concave back, elbows close. So I'm really strongly working my legs. Now I bring my hands so they're directly underneath the shoulders. As long as my head is not below my shoulders, I can lower my block. So you can do the same. But if you find your back is rounding, then stay higher and that's okay. If you find, okay, I can be on my fingertips and I'm actually straightening my arms and lifting my chest, I'm in no rush to go down. I'm more interested in my legs becoming strong, stay straight, and my sternum, belly, the spine getting extension. The shoulders tend to go to the ears, so bring the shoulders back, press your fingers on the floor, press the outer edges of the feet, belly forward, chest forward. Look forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Now, to come up, you bring your feet a little closer. That is helpful. Bring your hands on the hip, stamp the outer edges of your legs, inhale and come up. And now, just walk your legs in. So that finishes the standing sequence. Now we are going down to the floor. Maybe you're saying, yay. Okay, so let's come down. I will keep the blocks out as we don't need them anymore. However, we'll need a belt and we'll need a blanket. So I bring the blanket back. Okay, so now we move on to the seated poses. We did 3 seated poses last week, which was Dandasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Urdhva Hastasana, and Padangusta Dandasana. We are revisiting them again. So you please need to take a blanket or maybe 2, depending on what is right for you, and sit. Move the buttock flesh away, have your legs straight, knees straight. We press the shins down, the knees down, the thighs down. Try to close the gap between the back of the legs. Press your hands on the side of the body, adjusting so your arms are straight. Keep stretching your legs, pressing your thighs down. Lift your belly, lift your chest, shoulders back. Dandasana. Here the spine should be like straight, like a danda, going straight upward, and the legs straight too. Take a couple of breaths, lifting the waistline, chest, shoulders back, press the thighs down, stretch your legs. Breathing in and breathing out softly. Keep pressing your thighs down, keep lifting your belly up, shoulders back. Now relax. Now, the more we push down, if I don't push down with the legs, my back sinks. So we do have to work a little bit on our legs as always. So the key being we have to press down. It's when we press down that we have a chance to lift the pelvis up. So pressing down, lifting the pelvis up. Now stretch your arms straight. The front part of the pelvis shouldn't be dropping. As you stretch your arms, tighten your elbows. With an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Now use the arms to make more space along the sides of your ribs. Keep extending through your heels. Press the thighs down, the knees down, lift your lower back, lift the side chest, stretch your arms, lift the whole spine with the help of your hands. If possible, and your back is not rounding, move the back in, move the upper arms back, stretch up. Thighs pressing down. Urdhva Hastasana in Dandasana. Now take your hands down. Next, we do Padangustasana in Dandasana. So again, if it's very easy for you to grab your feet, your big toes, you can grip. But if you find this is not possible, please use a belt. So we use the belt, and again, we work on pushing the thighs down, have the toes pointing up so your feet are not falling out on either side. And once you have the belt, use the belt, because now the belt, you can make your elbows straight, use the belt to lift your spine up. So at first we use the arms lifting. Now the belt is our new friend. We can use the belt to lift our waistline, lift the side chest, lift up, and keep pushing the thighs down. Your feet can press into the belt, but you can pull back with the belt. Pull back so your chest lifts. Look straight, shoulders down. And all these poses are, of course, opening the knees, the hamstrings, stretching our leg muscles, and teaching our back to lift up rather than collapse. Now slowly release and take the belt out. So the main thing, and a lot of the things that you might be thinking, like we're doing quite simple poses, right? But one of the key things in Iyengar Yoga practice is to really teach us to wake up the spine, to use our legs in such a way that our pelvis is held in place, because it is the base of our spine. So if our legs are not doing the job of holding our pelvis, then we can tend to see our weight of our upper body into vulnerable parts of our lower back, which kind of can cause a lot of stress over time, which is why it is important to make our legs strong and our hips firm and stable so we can learn to lift ourselves up better. Our head has a better positioning in terms of our shoulders, and our chest can lift, which is a more easeful way of carrying your body. Now, we're going to have a little bit of fun and learn another new pose, which falls into the category of inversions, and it is called Ardha Halasana. However, I will have a short disclaimer in a sense that if you are menstruating, then skip this. You can just move on to the next pose. If you're pregnant, of course, you're not doing this. And if you are in any way, you have any neck issue, shoulder issue, please do not do this. If you join a class in person with a teacher, then they can guide you. But I would really advise you, if you're on your own practicing and you haven't practiced before, then don't do this posture. You can watch, you can learn, and maybe when you join a class, you will say, I remember having done that, and then it will seem easier to you. Okay? So I trust that you will follow that slight caution and then progress at your own pace. However, I will start setting up the pose for you to understand. First, it's important that you have a little bit of a blanket. We are not staying long, and usually when we do these poses, we take much more height. But that is only when we stay in the pose for a long time. At first, we are kind of just learning to see how to move the body. So for that, you are going to do a small little movement exercise. And this is what you want. You don't want anything on your mat. You want to be free. You want to see that behind you, there's no wall or any chair or any furniture. Yeah, so you should see that it's kind of a free space like I have here. And you sit on the middle of your mat and you can just roll yourself up and down a few times. Yeah, so you can just see, can you roll, and roll. If that was okay and you felt no stress, you can try another method. You can keep your legs straight, your arms straight. So a bit like we were in Dandasana. And then stretching your legs, see if you can take your legs back as far as possible. Again, as I said, if you have any neck issue, please do not do this. You're fine, you don't have any issue, and you are okay. See if you can take your arms back, your legs back, just halfway. And then you come down, okay? So at least we get this ability to roll and move. Now, we're going to set up and try to do Ardha Halasana. Ardha Halasana, it means half halasana. Plow pose, often, if you've done yoga, that's how we do it, but we do it a little bit with more care in Iyengar Yoga. So you can position the shorter end of your mat close to a wall, and you're going to take a blanket. If you have two, you can use two. And the reason we use the blanket is because we don't want to put too much pressure on the neck. Your shoulders have to stay on the blanket. So for now, I'm going to use two blankets, right? So I'm going to place two blankets. You can even use three. So why not? Let's use three blankets. And you need to line them up. So the rounded side, which is this is like the folded side, is on the other side. That's your rounded side. Okay, and if you don't have blankets, then if you're going to practice, it's better to get some props. Otherwise, you can just watch and see what this is about. So I first have to do a little bit of measuring. So approximately, I have to see that when I sit, I have my sitting bones just here touching the blanket. So if you look at my thigh, this is like my whole thigh. And say 1/3 of the thigh is resting on this portion. And then my legs have touched. Yeah, so that would be the right. And actually somehow it's correct. So if I divide up thigh into three portions, where my thigh is where this edge of the blanket is. Yeah, so now what do we do? So first you have to see that when you lay down, you lift your head up. Your shoulders have to be within the framework of the blanket. So you see my shoulders are inside. I lift my head. I place my head on the floor. I have my arms. I can see, okay, I roll my shoulders. My shoulders are inside. So there's some space. Now what you can try, and there are different ways of doing it. If your hip is on the blanket, it's easy. So you can do a little bit of a roll. So you can, again, bend your legs, stretch, and see if you can touch the wall, right? Now, once you touch the wall, you can, again, roll your upper arms, really turn your palms, place your hand on your back, and walk your legs just to the point that you can touch the wall. You can go more with your heels. So your heels start to press, and you start to lift the thighs up, holding your back for a few moments. So we are lifting our spine up, lifting our legs. If you're tighter in the hamstrings, please walk your legs higher so you get more lift. Don't come down so you create this rounded feeling on the back. So you want to use your legs to lift your spine. Again, just learning it. So today we are going to bend the knees, hold your back, and slowly come down. Rest. Okay, so let's try it one more time, but we are not holding long. So again, resettle yourself, head resting, roll the outer shoulders back, and as you take your legs back, you touch the wall, you walk your legs higher, you hold your back, and then you can walk your legs as long as you're lifting your thighs up, and then you can also work your heels into the wall and keep the lifting of the back. Use your hands to hold your back. Now slowly start to go down, and then just be here quiet for a few moments. Don't do anything. Normal soft inhale and normal soft exhale. Now gently begin to bend your knees, roll to the side, and come up. Now the next pose is again to cool ourselves down, since we did a little bit of an inversion. So there are two things you can do. You can use the support of the blanket. You can sit on the edge. You can reach your arms and just go down in Paschimottanasana. You can use your belt, your head in line with the shoulders. If you can go down low, don't collapse your back. We did so much extension work, and you can go down. Letting your head rest, not really rest, but just extending forward and pressing the thighs down, lifting your back, lifting your abdomen. Keep the elbows wide. Normal soft inhale and normal soft exhale. Now, I just want to give another variation because we all want a little quietness. Now, if you're very tight in the hamstrings and your back is being pulled back, this is not going to cause you any kind of quiet feeling. But at the end of that previous pose, you want a sense of quietness. So another option that you can do is you can just sit in a simple way that you have your legs extended. So two options. I'll get a chair for this because this is also useful. Most people have a home chair, even if you don't have a yoga chair. If you have a yoga chair, well, you're very lucky. You probably practice. And if not, you can always get one. So another thing you can do is you can just use the blankets again. I keep my legs straight. I pull the chair and my legs remain straight as in Paschimottanasana, and I let my forehead rest. So now I'm doing a supported Paschimottanasana in such a way so my head is resting, my shoulders are resting, and you take a few quiet, normal, soft inhales and exhales. At the same time, please keep your legs tight, lifting your abdomen, stretching your legs. Now you want your body to become more quiet. Take a few deep inhales and exhales. Relax the shoulders. Your abdomen should be breathing and soft. Face soft, jaw soft, and relaxed. Now slowly begin to lift your head up and come up. And of course, finally, we finish with Savasana. So you can move all your props out. I'm just going to move my chair out, and you can set yourself up for Savasana. So I'm going to use one blanket on my head. Adjust my mat so it's nice and even. And I can use the belt a little bit. I can show you how. The belt can be used to cover your eyes. So once more, you sit on the center of your mat. You start with your knees bent. You use your hands as a way to extend your buttocks. Go down one elbow at a time. Once you're down, see that the blanket goes to the base of your neck, the edge. And then you lift your head up. Then you stretch your legs up one at a time. Tuck the shoulder blades in and go down. And as I said, if you want to cover your eyes, like if you're in a lit room and sometimes you want some quietness, you can use the belt and lightly just place it over your eyelids to give you a sense of quietness as you stay here, completely letting go in Shavasana. Of course, you can stay as long as you wish at home. Relax your arms, your legs, let go, the face, the jaw, the throat. Let your abdomen soften. Your facial muscles relax. And be quiet. Now, slowly, you can begin to deepen your breath. Take a deep, long inhale and exhale. You can use your hands to just move the belt out of your eyes. Bring your right hand, your left hand back on your belly. Bend your right knee, your left knee. Gently turning yourself to the side. And then using your left hand to press into the floor as you slowly come up. Once more, take a comfortable seat. Bring your hands at the center of the chest. Namaste to everyone who joined in and if you did the practice. Thank you.